Hello everyone! In today's City Skylines 2 workshop, I would like to show you 10 tips and tricks that will help you decorate different parts of your city more spectacularly and consciously. It is important that everything you see in this video is done in a completely vanilla way without mods. We will talk about solutions that already included in the game, we just often don't use them enough or simply don't think about them. Although it is true that City Skylines 2 currently offers even fewer decoration options than its predecessor, there is already a lot you can get out of it. Whether it is public spaces, roads, green spaces, waterfronts, or even hard-to-build corners. If you want your city to not only function but also look good, then follow me and let's see 10 practical decoration tips. My first tip is about the different coverings and pavement, collectively referred to as decals. You can find these under the decal tab. Decals can be used in 3 different ways. The first option is extending a building's own base. Simply click on the base and drag it to the desired size using the left mouse button. If you accidentally drag it too far, no problem. You can reset it by right-clicking on one of the corners. It is important to know that while you can't place decorations directly on the building's original base, you can place them on the extended base. This alone can make the surrounding of any buildings much more varied and visually interesting. The second option is placing bases independently by clicking slightly away from the building and enclosing the area you want. Here you can work completely freely and create bases of any shape or size. One thing to keep in mind: don't place a base underneath an already built zoned building because the building will be demolished and rebuilt as a level 1 structure. The third and often underestimated advantage of decals is that they can be used not only on horizontal surfaces but also on vertical ones. This makes them perfect for decorating slopes or even complementing piers and quays along the waterfront. My second tip focuses on making roads look better. You probably already know that you can plant trees along roads, and just like in City Skylines 1, you can freely adjust their size and shape. But have you ever tried building roads with retaining walls? If you turn off height scaling, roads will automatically be built with retaining walls up to roughly 7.5 units. Above that, the game treats them as bridges. This is especially useful when creating clean slopes or when you want to give more visual emphasis to highways, railways, or tram lines. If another road crosses during construction, that section will become a bridge. But afterward, the road will return to its retaining wall design. The game handles more or less flexible these walls. Retaining walls also work extremely well at bridge entrances, regardless of whether you own the Bridges and Ports DLC. And if you do have it, many of those bridges, including movable ones, can also be used as clean, elegant overpasses, which can make the overall appearance of the streets in your city more diverse. At the moment, City Skylines 2 doesn't allow proper fences without mods, and region pack fences can't be placed continuously either. However, there is a simple and very aesthetic alternative: a hedge fence made of bushes. Just select a smaller bush, set its scale to the minimum and draw it in a continuous line, almost like placing a traditional fence. Try experimenting with bushes of different shapes and colors to achieve a more natural look. The same technique also works with stones. Stone fences won't be as dense, but they can look especially good in rustic or park-like environments. It is a small trick, but one that can instantly add structure and character to almost any area. The next tip is about making the most of small, hard-to-build areas. These include triangles between intersections, dead-end streets, or narrow strips behind buildings. At first glance, these spaces often look unusable, but with just a few elements they can become natural-looking green islands. Cul-de-sac endings are an obvious starting point, but you can also combine trees and bushes of different sizes and types. Using the line tool results in a more regular, controlled look, while free placement creates more rustic atmosphere. Combining greenery with paving, such as narrow sidewalks or stone borders, instantly makes the area feel intentionally designed. Adding a bench or a small decorative element gives it a finished look. Curved pedestrian paths also help make these spaces feel more natural. This approach works especially well in residential areas and smaller public spaces. City Skylines 2 offers far more props than most of us tend to use, and experimenting with them can really elevate your city. Props are grouped by category, making it easy to find suitable elements for each zone type. Playground items behind residential areas, benches and vending machines near shops, or barrels and containers in industrial zones. There are also pavilions, fountains, kiosks, and many other props just waiting to be placed in the right environment. And when you combine props with the basis from the first tip, you don't just decorate, you create livable functional spaces, whether in a small town or a large city center. The piers and wider walkways introduced with the Keys and Piers update and expanded further with the Bridges and Post DLC were designed for waterfronts, but they are useful for much more. Piers work extremely well as overpasses thanks to their minimum height requirements. Using wider walkways as access ramps creates much more elegant overpasses with a natural urban feel. And the spiral overpass in particular can become a real visual highlight, often far more attractive than long straight ramps. One of the most important visual principles is simple: don't build everything on the same level. Cities feel more alive when they have layers. Even small elevation differences can make a huge visual impact. Raised plazas, sunken avenues, or buildings placed on artificial hills instantly add depth. This works especially well when combined with ramps, paving, decals, or retaining walls. Layering helps prevent cities from looking flat or sterile, even on very flat maps. In City Skylines 2, buildings no longer have to align perfectly with roads. The base doesn't even need direct road contact as long as one of the building's connections reaches the road. Just turn off snapping and you can place buildings at almost any angle. As long as the road connection warning doesn't appear, you are good. Angled placements, especially along coastlines or terrain, create a far more natural look even in grid-based cities. Roundabouts are much easier to build in City Skylines 2 than in the first game, and they come in several variations. The downside is that they can't really be decorated freely. If you want a unique roundabout, build it manually, draw intersecting roads of equal size on flat terrain, then use angled roads to form the circle. Once finished, remove the guide roads. This lets you create roundabouts of any size and decorate the center however you like. Fountains, pavilions, water towers, or sculptures. The last tip may sound strange in a decoration workshop, but it's one of the most important ones. You don't have to fill everything. Let your city breathe. Wide sidewalks, open plazas, and empty green spaces often work best when they are intentionally framed. Empty spaces highlight landmarks, create visual rhythm, as well as prevent cluttered cityscapes. Sometimes the best design choice is simply doing nothing. So these were my decoration tips you can use without mods using only the game's basic tools. More important than any single trick is the mindset experiment. Look at pavements, props, roads, and even empty spaces differently because these often define a city's character. You don't have to build everything perfectly on a grid. A slight angle, a green pocket, or a conscious empty space can make a huge difference. If you found this workshop useful and would like more practical City Skylines 2 content, consider subscribing. Thank you for sticking with me. See you in the next video and let's keep building beautiful, livable cities together.